is Diamond Tiger Kobe Durst, and you're listening to Tapped Out Interviews with Lewis Carlin.
Hello and welcome to Tapped Out Interviews. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin, and we're part of the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. And I'm very excited today because we have one of my absolute favorites today is actually returning to the show. He is the new Alpha Male Champion for Alpha One Wrestling. Actually, he's a three-time Alpha Male Champion. Just defeated Josh Alexander in a tremendous 60-minute Iron Man match, which we're going to talk about. Please help me welcome the Diamond Tiger, Kobe Durst. Kobe, welcome back to the show, man.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me, Lewis.
Hey, my pleasure, my pleasure. I want to go right into it, man. That 60-minute Iron Man match, that was absolutely tremendous. Match of the year candidate. I was tweeting about it before the match, prior to the match taking place. I knew it was going to be a match of the year candidate, and you guys didn't disappoint. Absolutely tremendous match, man.
Thank you so much. Going into it, we knew that we really wanted it to be something special. And back in February, we did do an Iron Man match, at a smaller venue in Oshawa. And I remember after that match, I couldn't hear for like a week, because I got boxed my ear.
Wow.
And I was honestly so gassed after the first Iron Man match that, so from February, knowing that something like this was coming up, I was just training so hard just to be able to keep pace with Josh.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, I was going to ask you how you prepare for a 60-minute Iron Man match, because the night before, and I want to say it was a pleasure meeting you at PWA. That was fantastic. I'm wearing my shirt. I got the Kobe, the Durst shirt. I've been wearing that with pride, man. Absolute honor meeting you there.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, my pleasure, my pleasure. And you didn't have the night off. You had the match with Ilian Habanero, and then you had the Golden Ticket Rumble match. So you had your work cut out for you the night before. How do you prepare for the 60-minute Iron Man match? And were you gassed a little bit the night before because you wrestled twice the night before? So how did that affect you in the Iron Man match?
Well, yeah, so I wrestled twice the night before, and the night before that, I wrestled Thomas Dubois for LDDC up in Montreal. So,
wow.
So yeah, I was really making the rounds that weekend. But no, wrestling every weekend and staying busy every weekend is part of what helps me stay prepared. And then leading up to it, I was doing a lot of weight training. I would either go to the gym before work at like 4 a.m. or after work whenever I could finish. And then my job Monday to Thursday is I load garbage. So it was about 10 hours a day of cardio doing that. And then 1 or 2 workouts every single day. Just trying to prepare and be in the kind of shape that you need to be in for an Iron Man match.
Well, yeah, I mean, my favorite part about the match is you're down 3-0, and I was a little upset because I was trying to stay away from any spoilers, but I accidentally saw the winner of the match on Twitter prior to me seeing the match. But you're down 3-0, and you could just see the look on the faces of the crowd, and they're like, oh, it's over. Josh Alexander is up 3-0.
That's right. They pretty much gave up at that point.
Yeah, and then you tied it.
Yeah, and what's really exciting is if you watch like a hockey game or something like that, and when a team comes back from a 3-0 deficit, those are always some of the most exciting games. Or if you see a Super Bowl where a team thinks that they've won it and that other team comes right back to win, you can almost feel the crowd start to root for the underdog just because they're at such a loss.
Yeah, I mean, that's like you said, they were just completely out of. They almost lost interest in the match. They figured it was over, but then it was 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, and then you went into overtime, and and like the last 10 minutes of that match was just absolutely thrilling. If I was going to vote for match of the year, that match right there would just about get my vote. That was just a fantastic match. I absolutely loved it, man. And I'm thinking, is there going to be another one between you and Josh? Because I know, you said that next time he's ready to challenge for the title, he better be ready. Kind of indicating that there might be another, I don't know, Iron Man match, but there will be another match.
Because Josh, that's what Josh said to me after our very first Iron Man match.
Okay.
So when he won our first one, he said to me that when I come back, that I had better be ready.
Okay.
So that was kind of my way of just saying, hey, you know what? You gave me this Iron Man match, and if you want to do it a third time, we absolutely can. And what I gotta think back. If you're a fan of the Rocky series, after Rocky and Apollo's first match, Apollo Creed walked out saying there was going to be no rematch.
Sure.
That was what he was saying.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's not looking like there will be a rematch. Maybe not a 60-minute Iron Man match, because they really do take a lot out of you, and to perform at such a pace in 2018 is an honor and a privilege, really. But they really do take a lot. But I would do it if Alpha One and Josh wanted to.
Okay. The match is over. You're the new Alpha Male champion. You go back to the locker room. 5 minutes after the match, how are you feeling? Because your chest was all marked up and beat red. How are you feeling 5 minutes after the match?
5 minutes after the match, I'm still pretty like I'm still on a high, so I'm not really feeling. I'll say this. For me, the worst part, the worst time after I wrestle is the first time I get out of the car.
Okay.
So when I get into the car and go to like a restaurant, or when I go home, when I get out of the car that first time, that's when everything really sets in, and I go, oh man, I really messed up this time.
Okay.
But no, 5 minutes after the match, I'm on such a high, and honestly, so many people wanted pictures and things like that. I was really just trying to get back to the locker room.
Okay. Okay. Well, I feel very fortunate that I met you the night before. I was able to there was no issue with you giving me a picture. You were fine, before the match. So I'm glad I got that picture taken with you. Actually, I'm a little disappointed. Actually, what I should have done, I got a picture with Josh as well. Afterwards, I was thinking I should have got a picture with Josh and Colby and then put it on Twitter and saying, before the match of the year candidate takes place, I got a picture with both guys. But that's what I should have done. But I got a picture with both you and Josh, so it was really, really cool. It was a good match against Habanero as well. I'd never seen Habanero before. He came out like a ball of fire. It almost looked like I'm sorry, go ahead.
He's been wrestling a long time, and I've seen him wrestle before. One time I saw him do like a missile drop kick to the outside, like
okay,
just because like he really is crazy. But he has been wrestling a long time, nothing very serious, just kind of small Canadian indies. And when it was time for our match, he had such a good attitude, and he just really wanted to do good. He really wanted to put on a great show, and that's kind of his whole character, is just he loves wrestling, and maybe he's not the best at it, but he just loves it, and I had a lot of fun with the match, actually. I thought he was great.
Yeah, I noticed after the match was over, he like rushed to the back. I thought he might have got hurt or something. And it seemed like as soon as the match was over, he just rushed to the back.
I think that he's just a weirdo like that.
Okay.
He's like, okay, I'm done wrestling now, and he's off.
Then he's off to the back of it.
Because I was confused. I was looking around. I was gonna like raise his hand or something, but he was gone.
Yeah, so I thought that was a little strange. It was like the match is over and he just out of the ring and just takes off to the back.
Right. But I mean, to his credit, when the match started, he came out sprinting.
Yeah, no, he's running around like the Ultimate Warrior at first, man, just running around the ring.
Yeah.
So it seems like you're getting booked almost everywhere. Like I'm watching Powerbomb TV, and whether it's Glory Pro, whether it's C4 or Black Label Pro, freelance, it seems you're on the show. It's I know you're on Destiny, you do Smash, CZW, of course PWA. And the list goes on and on. It seems like you're getting booked everywhere. It's got to be a tremendous feeling. And you're very young. If I'm not mistaken, you're about 20, I would say 24, 25 years old, man.
23.
23. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm very young. Very young. Yeah, what's crazy, so like with the Canadian promotions like Alpha One, and C4, and Destiny, like Destiny only just, recently used me on a couple of their last shows. So that's very exciting. When I was like, I guess I would have been 18, 19, I was traveling to these different shows just to like help set up the ring and say hi to all the guys. And, like I remember watching, Kevin Owens or Kevin Steen, main eventing on Alpha One. And I remember, I would travel down to C4 and like I would work security, and I remember like at one show like Twiggy yelled at me because like I was a bad security guard, and like obviously people don't remember that because I was just some kid, but it's so cool to be not just a part of the show, but to be like one of the mainstays and someone who actually attracts the fans and to be one of the top guys here working in Ontario. And now to be able to travel down to the States and get help from somebody like Ethan Page, to help me get these bookings with Freelance Wrestling and Glory Pro and Black Label Pro, it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and it's this actually tomorrow, Powerbomb TV live stream. You're taking on Tracy Williams, if I'm not mistaken, for the independent Powerbomb TV title. So that's going to be exciting, man. Are you there now, or are you still home? Or you still have to travel down there, or
Yeah, no. So what we'll do is I'll meet up with some of the guys tomorrow, and then we'll travel down in the morning. It's easy too because like Chicago's like an hour ahead of us, behind us.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, there's an hour difference. So we have a lot of time to get to Chicago. And then the next day, I'm wrestling the show is Raising the Bar in Jefferson, Illinois, and that'll be my first time, and I'm wrestling Akira.
Okay. All
yeah.
Right.
So that'll be two matches this weekend, and then back to Toronto actually in Greektown for Greektown.
Wow, so that's kind of like starting to develop like a hectic travel schedule. Do you find it more and more difficult to maintain that? Because I'm looking at some of your matches. You're in Chicago, then you're in Ohio, then you're back to Hamilton. Like I said, are you able to deal with this travel schedule? Because you're like, it seems like you're booked everywhere these days.
Yeah, one thing is I really like being in a car. I find it's a great, it's kind of it's a fun, intimate setting. I like, conversing with somebody in the passenger seat, driver's seat. I like that dynamic. I like just kind of like gazing off at the lines on the road and seeing all the trees and the buildings.
Okay.
And listening to different radios or podcasts if I'm like by myself or with my friends. And all the stops and stuff, and the stories that you get to tell, because you stop in at the same gas station so often, and all of a sudden some random lady in Illinois just happens to know you because you always stop at her gas station, and she like compliments your hair every time you come in, or just like silly things like that, and then getting to travel around so much, I get to meet so many cool fans and so many cool people. And like they open their homes up to me, and they really treat me really good. So I love traveling around and hanging out with everybody.
That's awesome. You mentioned you listen to podcasts. You listen to Tapped Out interviews when you're in the car, right?
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
kidding. No, but you listen to this one. When this one will come out, you'll listen to this one for sure.
Yeah, just kind of see how weird I sound.
No, you don't sound weird at all.
Oh, good.
So you mentioned that I was going to ask you if you're able to support yourself with wrestling, but you mentioned a little earlier that you have another job. That are you think you'll be able to? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I've been really fortunate. So Monday to Thursday, so pretty much all wrestling shows, like not all wrestling shows, but a lot of them are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So for me, my goal ever since I graduated high school was to try to find a job that I could do Monday to Thursday so that I could pursue wrestling Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I knew that without having that time off to travel everywhere and anywhere,
Sure.
It just wasn't going to happen. So I've been very fortunate to find a very physical job where I ride the back of the garbage truck and I load garbage for 10 hours a day, Monday to Thursday. And so I have my job, I have my own place, it pays for my car, it pays for everything. And then all the money that I'm able to make with wrestling, that's just bonus, or like you invested into like more gear or merch or things like that. So yeah, I'm very fortunate in that sense. But yeah, I work really hard during the week so that I'm able to work pretty hard on the weekends.
No, I know I've been wanting to get you on for a while, and it's not easy getting you on because I know you got work and then you're always booked, so it's a little difficult getting you on. But I'm glad we were able to get this day today. I actually got to get up tomorrow at about 3:00 in the morning. I'm normally in bed by now, but I want to get this. I wanted to get this interview for some time, so I was like, you know what? I'll go to sleep a little late. I'll drink a lot of coffee in the morning, but I want to talk to Kobe Durst. So that's
Sure.
I'm sacrificing for you, Kobe Durst, man. No, I'm a huge fan. I'm almost like I'm talking to you. I sound normal, but inside I'm kind of marking out right now. So,
thanks so much.
My
That's
pleasure. I should have put on the Kobe Durst shirt for the interview as well. I'm not wearing it, but I should have put it on.
Yeah, you would have. Maybe you felt a little more.
Yeah, I have the 8x10 that you signed for me. I have it right here in front of me, though. So this is gonna get framed.
Well, coincidentally, right now I'm wearing, like Freelance Wrestling gave me a shirt a while back. And
Okay.
I just got back from the gym and I wore my Freelance Wrestling shirt. Then it was just a coincidence the Freelance is tomorrow, but yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned Freelance Wrestling, and we mentioned a couple of other promotions. Are there any other promotions out there? Any other indie promotions out there that you haven't worked for yet that you'd like to work for?
That I haven't worked for that I'd like to work for?
Yeah.
I mean, when I think of in terms of that, I always think of the larger promotions. Like I would say I've never worked for Evolve. Like I guess I was technically in like an opening match against Ethan Page once upon a time.
Okay.
But I've never really worked with Evolve or
okay,
like Ring of Honor or TNA, and I know that I'm so young, and maybe it's naive of me to even like say that I really want to wrestle with these places.
Okay, we had a little bit of technical difficulties there. Sorry, I lost Kobe for a few seconds. I'm just going to ask the question again. I just want to know if there were any indie promotions out there that you haven't worked for that you actually would like to work for.
Yeah. So, in terms of promotions that I would like to work for, honestly, I want to wrestle as often and in as many places as I can. I want as many people be able to enjoy my product as possible. So I guess in terms of indie promotions, there's nothing really specific that I really want to work for that I haven't yet. But all I can say is that I want to travel further, and I want to work for the big companies.
Yeah, two promotions I was thinking about: Impact Wrestling, X Division, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think you'll be fantastic in the Super Juniors for New Japan. Those are two things I was thinking that I'd like to see you in. Also, Ring of Honor.
Absolutely. I would love to do one of those, and like Ring of Honor. Like I've wrestled with I know PCO just signed with them recently, and I'm very excited for him because I've wrestled him a lot this year, and that's been just the coolest thing ever. Also, so honestly, if I could just get the dream is just to get a contract with someone, and to be able to do what I do in front of as many people as I can.
Well, you don't have to, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when for you, because you're, like I said, extremely talented, man. One promotion, my pleasure, man. My pleasure, man. I'm going to be saying that a lot because it's how I really feel, man. Major League Wrestling, MLW, I was thinking maybe that would be a good promotion. They have a wrestler there, Myron Reed, and I didn't know that you and Myron Reed had a one-on-one match. Myron Reed's another one of my favorite wrestlers, and I tweeted about it today. I'm pretty sure that you liked the tweet. You might have retweeted it.
Yeah. We wrestled at Unsanctioned Pro.
Yeah, that must have been a tremendous match, and I did find it. It's on the Unsanctioned Pro website. They have the whole card, cost $10. I'll probably watch it over the weekend. But tell me a little bit about that match. What was it like? Because two of my favorites going one-on-one. I mean, you can't really, in my eyes, you really can't beat that.
Well, so I'll start with this. Myron is one of my favorites, also. And the first time that I met Myron, we both did an Elgin training camp.
Okay.
Where we traveled down to his school. I think this would have been, in 2016. And we traveled down, and we stayed in Illinois for a week. And we just trained and kind of learned. And during that, we actually had a match in front of nobody.
Okay.
So that it was really awesome to be able to train with him. And then fast forward 2 years, we're both doing really well for ourselves. Admittedly, I would say Myron's doing even better than I am. So when we were able to have that match, we were so excited to work each other. We just wanted to do everything and anything. And so that one was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, I have to see that. I'm gonna.
It was a really good match. I really liked it.
Well, I'm looking forward. Definitely this weekend. I'm gonna order it on the Unsanctioned Pro website. So I'll watch the whole card, but I'm paying $10 to really see the one match I want to see. But I'll watch the whole thing. Now you've wrestled.
Yeah, well, they did some crazy stuff with I didn't actually watch it, but there was a shopping cart full of objects, so I know there was some crazy stuff on that show.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing the shopping cart full of objects, man.
Yeah.
So you've wrestled in the U.S., you've wrestled in Canada. We mentioned New Japan, of course, Japan. Are there any other countries you thought about, maybe out in England, or any other countries you thought about wrestling in? Maybe Mexico?
Honestly, I would wrestle anywhere, but if I'm being completely honest, I really want to be an American star.
Okay.
Like that's what I've always wanted. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be here, in the United States and Canada, just really doing my thing and being an American wrestler. I mean, to obviously to see success in Japan or to travel down to the UK isn't gonna hurt me, but I would love to be able to work with, I would like to get signed to a company that's here. If I really could.
So if there was one company, if you were able to pick one company to sign for right now, which company would?
WWE.
There you go. You probably would go through NXT first, which is fine, but then you'd make it to the.
But that's where I would. If somebody said, "Hey, you can work for anybody," that's where I'd.
That's where you go. Well, maybe Triple H is listening, and he'll hear this, and he'll send you a message via Twitter a little later today.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but
I'm sure
like
it'll probably be something like that.
yeah, like I said, man, it's like I thought you were a little older than 23, but you're only 23 years old. That's incredible. So it's again, it's not a matter of if with you, it's a matter of when. So I'm pretty sure very soon that you'll be in NXT or at least a major promotion in the United States, whether it's Ring of Honor or Major League Wrestling. You're definitely going to get there, man. And hopefully when you do get there, that you'll still give me one more interview, man.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, man, that's cool. I'm going to hold you to that too. I'm going to hold you to that as well.
Okay.
Now you've wrestled so many people, and I wrote down a list of wrestlers that I would like to see you wrestle, and that I didn't know that you wrestled. Like Kevin Blackwood, you wrestled him. Barry Wrestling.
Yeah.
Evil Uno, I didn't realize you wrestled last year. That I got to see those matches for C4. Have you ever wrestled?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That the first match that Uno and I had for the it was for the Underground Championship. I think that really kind of put me on the map at C4.
Okay, there were two matches though, right? I think you took the title from
there
them.
There were.
Yeah.
There were, and I love them both. But the first one was like the first time I think that C4 was they were running with me as the Underground Champion, and then eventually ran with me as their heavyweight champion. But I think they were a little bit hesitant at first to really kind of trust in me to be the main event of their promotion, and rightfully so, because they've been around for 11 years now. So you have to be careful with who you're trusting your company with. So I'm glad that Evil Uno and I were able to work so well together.
Yeah, well, it's on Powerborn TV, so that's another card I'm gonna be watching. When I signed up for Powerborn TV, it was like a pro wrestling dream, and you have
it's fantastic, eh?
Yeah, Alpha One, Pro C4, Black Label Pro. There's so much on there, it's tremendous. Now you mentioned Evil Uno. Brent Banks is another one of my favorites. I see that you had a match with him. The three guys, though, that I didn't see that you... Have you ever had a match with Tyson Dukes, Kevin Bennett, or RJ City?
So here, I'll say this first about Brent Banks.
Okay.
He was in my very first match back in 2012.
Wow. Okay.
Brent Banks was my tag team partner.
Okay.
That's it. No.
Okay, there you go.
But I've wrestled him. So Tyson Dukes, yes, I've wrestled him. I wrestled Tyson Dukes on Josh's retirement show for Alpha One. Seppuku.
Okay.
And I wrestled him for a fair show for Smash Wrestling.
Okay.
And Kevin Bennett, I wrestled again. It was for a London Comic-Con show that I wrestled Kevin Bennett at.
Okay.
We worked one-on-one, and we did a 6-man tag match together.
Okay.
So that was fun. And then RJ City I have never worked with.
Oh, okay.
Never. No. I'm a big fan of RJ. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of RJ.
Yeah, he was on the show last week. I interviewed him last week, and I'm a big fan of RJ City. He's very, very entertaining, very, very funny.
Yeah.
But, do you watch him make the coffee in the morning every Sunday in his underwear? He's got that little show going.
I am familiar with the show. I haven't actually tuned in.
Okay.
But I'm a very big fan of everything that he's doing with the
David Arquette,
Wrestling in Hollywood, and him and David Arquette. Yes, I think it's all fantastic, and all of his tweets and his comments and his replies, really they genuinely make me laugh. When I read stuff that he posts, I'm laughing as a fan.
Yeah, he's very, very, very entertaining, man.
Super.
We mentioned now you said you never.
But I have tuned into Splat a lot.
Okay, I think he was Geldar. Geldar, I believe.
That's right. I have tuned into Splat a lot and seen him as Gildar.
Gildar, yeah. Yeah, actually, when I actually met him, it's a little funny story. I met him and David Arquette at the BCW 25th anniversary show. I come home because I took a picture with him and I put it on Facebook, and I come home and my wife is like, "What was the CBC craft guy doing at the wrestling show?" RJ City does crafts for CBC, and so I'm like, "Oh, he's a wrestler also." And she couldn't. It like blew her mind that the CBC craft guy was a professional wrestler. So I just, but yeah, but he's
Yeah, it's
I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Cool. It's so cool. What David Arquette is doing, to me, I think back to like the 1980s when Andy Kaufman was like wrestling with Jerry Lawler and kind of traveling around and doing his thing and wrestling the ladies. It's such a cool kind of a act for him. Like I think it's so amazing.
You know, you mentioned Andy Kaufman. I'm a lot older than you are, and I actually was alive for that. And I remember that.
Sure.
I remember when that whole thing was happening, when he was on David Letterman and Lawler slapped him off the chair. So I was around for that.
Cool.
Everybody thought that was real. Nobody realized it. Now, of course, now it was all fake, but everybody thought it was real, and Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler really hated each other, and they had this blood feud going, but it was really great stuff back then, man.
Yeah, it was the best. I'll go back and I see those things. I'm a big Andy Kaufman fan, so
huge Andy Kaufman. I'm a huge Andy Kaufman fan myself. So hey, we got
there we go.
We got something in common there, man. Andy Kaufman, man. Now, RG City, you said you never wrestled. Is there anybody out there that you haven't wrestled that you would like to wrestle?
I would say from here in Canada, I've never wrestled Mike Bailey.
Oh wow, okay.
So I would really like to wrestle Mike Bailey. Yeah. I'm a big fan of his work. And yeah, we've been on shows together. I think he's a great guy. I love everything about him. I just really want to wrestle him.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say he's pretty much at the top of my list from here in Canada. Yeah.
What about that new kid, Daniel Garcia? He's pretty good. Have you wrestled him at all?
Daniel Garcia, yeah, actually, Daniel Garcia on the last on the last C4 wrestling show, he wrestled Evil Uno.
Oh yeah, that was a great match. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool to see him doing so great, and it sort of makes me think of that back to when I was wrestling Uno. So I would really keep an eye on him to be main eventing the C4 shows in a year from now, or sooner than that. I don't know, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Daniel Garcia, and I've never actually wrestled him.
All right, well, you will. I'm sure you will sooner or later. You guys will.
Yeah, I think sooner. I hope sooner.
I've always wanted to ask you about the arm sleeve. You don't always wear the arm sleeve, and you throw tremendous forearms with that arm sleeve. When did you start wearing that arm sleeve?
So this is honestly 2 years ago. I mentioned the Michael Elgin training camp.
Yeah.
Right after that training camp, there was a show. I forget the promotion, but it was in Illinois. And I showed up. I was supposed to have a singles match, but my opponent didn't show up, and they ended up throwing me in there with two guys. I forget the one guy's name, but the main one was Luke Lawson. Was the guy's name? Is the guy's name Luke Lawson? Is what he wrestled as.
Okay.
And we had a triple threat match, and it was just supposed to be an easy 8 to 10 minute match. And we did a chase spot, and I've never seen footage of it, so I really don't know what happened. But he came off the ropes and I threw my forearm, and the timing was off or something, and he ended up, his jaw was broke.
Okay.
So we have this triple threat match. Everything's planned. Everything's fine. Luke Lawson's very new. Like he's, I think he was one of Ruby Riot's students, or Ricky Shane Page's, or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe Eric Cannon. But I know he worked in with them. And afterwards, Ruby spoke to me at Alpha One about it, just to kind of see where I was at about it, because obviously I felt terrible. You never want any of your opponents to ever get injured, or you never want anything like that to ever happen.
Of course.
And for something like that to happen in one of my matches was very devastating for me. And even more so for Luke Lawson, because he had to have surgery done on his jaw, and obviously he's fine now. Like, it's been 2 years, but I don't think that he wrestles anymore. He came back and wrestled for a little bit, but I think he slowed down. And so after that incident, I decided that I really wanted to take the extra caution and just put an arm sleeve on. So just in case, if there's any mistiming or things like that, because it is a physical sport.
Sure.
And myself, I've broken 3 fingers and I've had like a bunch of concussions. Things happen and nobody really means for it to happen, but we just have to do the best that we can as performers to try to protect ourselves and each other.
Okay.
So that's the story of the arm sleeve, though. That's why I wear it.
All right. No. Very cool, man. And you're in the ring. You know, you could come off as sometimes a killer in the ring. You got the like I said, the forearm, the Kobe driver. You could really turn it up in the ring, but you know, when you meet you outside the ring, you are just a very, very nice, personable guy. Someone that you can just talk to, and you're very friendly. Like, how do you become friendly Kobe Durst and turn it into killer Kobe Durst in the ring? Does it just, you just snap your fingers and it happens, or do you have to psych yourself up? How does that happen, man?
No, people will actually comment about how they think I'm like kind of a maniac, because I can't just like snap into Kobe. Like I'll be pacing backstage for like 10 minutes, like I'll kind of be like hitting myself, or like just like staring at walls or things like that. And honestly, to me, when I'm face Kobe Durst, I try to kind of just stay myself and just be very intense. But when I'm booked as a heel, that version of Kobe Durst, I really try to get into a headspace where I've been, we're in life, like where you get so upset that like you're shaking and like you just can't calm down. Like it's like an irrational anger.
Sure.
Like maybe you got a speeding ticket and you're just so upset that you're just ready to burst and you don't really know what to do. Or maybe you got, I don't know, maybe you broke your finger. Like maybe I think back to times in my life where just shit has happened.
Sure.
And I've really gotten upset. And when I do get like that, I have a hard time calming down. So I try to kind of translate my real life, like pains and emotions, and I try to like project them through Kobe.
Yeah, because after you won that title, the shooting the Indies, and they take really, really good pictures. You're holding the belt, you have this really intense, vicious look on your face, and I'm like, that's not the Kobe Durst I met at PWA last night. He was a nice guy. You look like you're ready to kill somebody. But I was like, how does he become nice Kobe Durst to vicious Kobe Durst? But yeah, that's just curious. But no, I fully understand now, man, how you do that, man. But that's
yeah. And I think that sometimes people like when they meet me in real life, they almost like will like. If somebody's booking me, when they first meet me, and they've booked me to be this killer, they almost like second guess themselves right at first. They're like, oh my goodness, he's a really friendly guy. He doesn't really seem like his photos. He isn't. But then once I get in the ring and I'm in my zone, it's completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I would have gone to the Alpha One show, but I told you I had the Smash tickets, and Sebastian Suave himself, he was able to get me some VIP tickets, so I had to go because I don't want to disappoint Sebastian Suave, so I had to go to the Smash show. But
Sure.
I'm definitely going to get to an Alpha One show. It is a little tough because a lot of them are on Sundays, and I got to get up really early on Monday, and I'm like 4 hours away, so it could be tough. But I'm definitely going to plan on getting one to an Alpha One show, without a doubt. But you're going to be at PWA, you said, next month, right? In January?
Yeah, PWA has booked me for a lot of their shows this year, so I'll be on a lot of PWA shows.
Okay. Yeah, well, I could get to those.
What's really nice is I've been able to sort of work out with PWA. They know that I'm busy and that I have like a lot of American dates and things like that. And honestly, they know that the bigger star I can become, the better it is for them when they're booking me.
Sure.
So they've been gracious enough. Same with promotions like Crossbody Wrestling, Crossbody Pro Wrestling. They book me for the dates tentatively and know that if something big comes up that I'll just have to pull it.
All right. Well, do you have an opponent yet for the January show or not yet? Or you're not allowed to say. If you can't say that, that's cool.
No, I'm not. I can't think of anybody at the moment. Okay. So no, I don't think that I have an opponent announced.
Okay. Well, I'll.
Oh, and then another one that's coming up. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it.
Okay, nope. If you can't say it, that's cool.
Yeah, I probably can. I'm going to be debuting for Superkicked coming up soon. So that's
wow.
Pretty exciting too.
Wow. So like I think then that would be like every promotion then for I know you were just at Courage Pro Wrestling. You had your debut match. You became the number one contender. Speaking of which,
the number one contender for at Courage Pro Wrestling.
Speaking of which, when do you get your shot at Steve Brown?
February.
February.
In February. I want to say February 17th. But don't quote me on that. Check out the Courage Pro Wrestling Instagram page if you're really genuinely interested in the event. So February, me and Steve Brown, and Steve Brown is someone who, other than like once 4 or 5 years ago at like a small fair show, I've never, been in a match like one-on-one with him.
All right. So are you taking the title? Are you taking the title from him or you're,
Yeah, for sure. For sure I'm going to take that. I'm going to be the Courage Pro Wrestling champion, the Alpha Male champion, and I'll be the, Black Label Pro, the Indiana State champion.
There you go, man. And I'm guessing.
And then I got to get back the C4 championship. And if I can be Tracy Williams at Freelance tomorrow, I'll be the Powerbound TV Independent champion.
There you go. You'll have that's 6-7 titles you'll have, man.
I hope that's the dream, really.
Yeah, man. I was a little bummed out when you lost to Matt Angel. That was a really good match. When you lost the C4 title to Matt Angel, but
thank you. Going into that particular match, that show was so big. It had like Teddy Hart. It had what were the names? It had Teddy Hart. Oh, it had Matt Cross. It had that crazy tag team match with the Fraternity versus the Tabernacle.
Yep.
They had the Daniel Garcia versus Evil Uno.
Yep.
Yeah. So the show was stacked, and then at the very end, you have me and Matt Angel and I, who are both very young, kind of relatively unknown Ontario indie talent, to be the main event of this big show, and we just wanted to we didn't want the main event to fall flat at all, and we were so pleased with how it turned out. We said, you know what, the crowd, it's been a long night. They've watched a lot of wrestling. Let's hit this match hard. Let's hit it fast, and let's try to show them why we're on last. And Matt Angel is just a great competitor, and I'm sure he's going to be a great C4 champion. Yeah,
no, it was a great match. Actually, the match, I think it was a month before that, the triple threat, where you defended against Matt Angel and Stu Grayson. Stu Grayson is another tremendous wrestler. That was another terrific match as well, man.
Yeah, you know what? Stu is someone who I've never had a one-on-one match either, and I would like to wrestle him one-on-one.
Yeah, he had a crazy match with Evil Uno, man. I believe it was for C4.
Yeah, well, and I mean, they should. They know each other so well.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm just thinking as Kobe Durst against Stu Grayson, that would be freaking phenomenal, man. I don't think I've ever seen a bad. I don't think I've ever seen a bad Kobe Durst match. I'm just thinking. I don't think I've ever seen a bad match that involved you, man.
Well, thank you. Well, I tell you what, look up a younger Marty Michaels, and you might see some bad matches in my former persona.
Okay, you don't have to give me the bad matches, but now I'm gonna look it up now. Marty Michaels, I'm gonna see.
Yeah, look him up. Marty Michaels. He was the lone rocker because he couldn't find his Sean Giannetti.
Oh man, so do you prefer being a heel or a face? I'm pretty sure you've been both, but do you prefer being a heel?
Yeah,
or a face?
I perform as both.
Okay.
And there's things that I like about each. Like as a face, I really do like looking out into an audience and kind of making eye contact with somebody or kind of saying something funny or giving them like a look. And just being friendly with them. Like I genuinely enjoy those interactions. But I think, to me, Kobe Durst is a heel character. I think it is like at his root. He really does feel kind of, like an inferior athlete in the superior athlete world. And he really just wants to show everybody that he can hang, and maybe at times when he gets into matches with people like Josh Alexander, or maybe if he ends up in the ring with like an athlete like Stu Grayson, Kobe, while athletic and while a formative competitor, and even though Kobe won the Iron Man match, you look back, I was down 3-0. And the way that I start to come back, not to give anybody like spoiler alerts, but it's almost like a desperation, like a clawing from underneath. So I think that if you kind of like analyze Kobe, I think that his like deep rooted sort of insecurities in himself are what make him a heel.
Okay. All right, man. So I'm going to take that as you prefer being a heel. Is that
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Would you?
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say.
I was just gonna.
Okay. I'll let you go. Take it away, man.
Okay, my bad.
Go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say. I as Kobe, I prefer to be a heel, and I think that some of the more ruthless tactics and the more underhanded tactics are things that maybe he doesn't want to do, but he feels are necessary because he's not like as great of a competitor as he wants to be.
Now, I noticed that you do the Randy the Ram Jam on occasions. When did you? Is that? Are you a fan of the movie The Wrestler, or when did you incorporate that into your moveset?
Yeah. So at one point, Ethan Page just looked at me and said, "Hey, Kobe, pretend to cry." So I did, and he took a picture, and he tweeted out a picture of Randy the Ram crying and me crying, and it got a big response. A lot of people thought it was funny. So ever since then, I started doing the Ram Jam, and I tell people that Randy the Ram is Kobe Durst's dad.
Okay.
So I think that's sort of like a funny, like this fictional character is the father of a real wrestler. Like, and he's like a bad father, like in the movie. So I think it kind of makes sense. So that's sort of where that comes from. I sort of pretend that Randy the Ram is Kobe Durst's dad.
There you go. Back to Josh Alexander. Would you say that he's your favorite opponent, or is there somebody else that you would call your favorite opponent?
No, I would say that Josh is probably my favorite opponent. What I really like about Josh as an opponent, specifically, is if you were to watch, we wrestled at a show called Beta Pro, which was Alpha One Wrestling's like pre-show. They only ran 2 of them.
Okay.
But essentially they were interested in some younger guys and wanted to put them against some main roster, some guys who were regulars on Alpha One, just to see if they could kind of cut it. And if you watch this match with me and Josh, you'll see him just kind of beating me because I didn't have any fire. Like he would chop me as hard as he could, and I would just kind of take it and not really know what to do because I wasn't at that level. I wasn't ready. And with every match that I have with Josh, I feel like I leave it a little bit better. I feel like I'm a better wrestler for having that match. And that's, in an opponent, what more could you ask for?
Now, you guys have a great feud, man, you and Josh Alexander. Do you think one day that feud might hit a larger stage, like, I don't know, maybe WrestleMania?
It's hard to say. I mean,
Okay.
I would love to wrestle Josh on a stage like WrestleMania. That would be absolutely incredible. I don't know how it would happen. But I do think that Josh and I are destined to be wrestling each other for a very long time, for probably a variety of promotions. And I do think that the stages are going to get larger for both of us. Whether it hits WrestleMania level or not, who's to say? But I know that when Josh and I get in the ring together, we both take it very, very seriously, and we respect each other a lot. So you're always going to get your money's worth when it comes to the two of us.
Okay, man. Absolutely, man. And anytime you guys get together, it's you can't go wrong. I mean, my goal is to see a match between you two live. Hopefully, one day we'll be able to see it, whether it be for PWA or Alpha One or C4. I'm sure I'll get to a live Kobe Durst, Josh Alexander match. Big fan of both of you guys. One last question, and then we can wrap this up.
Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you up so late. I know you got to get up early.
No, it's okay. This is totally worth it, man. Totally worth it, man.
Okay.
So, I know you said you're 23 years old. Do you ever see yourself being a trainer? Could you ever think maybe because I know Tyson Dukes has the wrestling factory. Could you ever see yourself as a trainer, maybe opening up your own school one day?
You know what? I do see myself as a trainer. I think that that I have a lot that I could offer to people. Actually, I have one guy who I'm kind of mentoring. His name's Tony Adams. You can look him up.
Okay.
He's pretty good. Yeah, I think, speaking of Tony, I think that he's going to have a really big year in 2019, and I'm really excited for him. But so he's just someone who I've been mentoring. But I'm a big fan of, Howard Stern, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, him on the radio with his he has his whack pack, which is just like people that he hires. Like he has like Tan Mom and Wendy the special adult and like High Pitch Eric and all this cast of crazy characters. And for me, I would almost like to if I was training people, I would like to have my own cast of crazy characters who I help out and help to get better and help them travel, and maybe even like run my own podcast with them and maybe interview them about the stupid stuff that they're doing on the road, or
okay,
if one of them is in a match and messes up, kind of rouse them about it or give them a hard time or things like that. I have so many different ideas, but I'll say this: I'm not at a level to be training anybody just yet.
Okay, well, one day
you can be very good, and you can be very good, and you can be like a great wrestler and have great matches, but to be able to watch somebody wrestle, analyze what's wrong and what's right about what they're doing and their performance. I could teach anybody how to bump. I could teach anybody how to do a hip toss. But actually sitting someone down, dissecting their match, and explaining to them why something works versus why something doesn't work, that's something that I still have done to me after my matches. Like I still look to people with more experiences, and they'll explain it to me in ways that I didn't even see it, or in ways that I couldn't even think of before. So I really think that if I'm going to train people properly, I owe it to them to keep working my butt off right now, and gain as much knowledge and experience as I can before I get to that level.
All right, man. Fair enough. There you go. I'm pretty sure one day, maybe 10, 15 years from now, you'll have the Kobe Durst School of Professional Wrestling will open, and
yeah, something.
Yeah, maybe you could train me to be a referee. Maybe at that time I'll have enough courage to be a referee.
You're gonna wait 10 years to be a referee?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Before we go, is there anything you want to plug? This is actually recording today. It's Thursday, December 13th. I know you have freelance tomorrow, but this show will probably air after the freelance show. So if you have anything that's coming up maybe next week that you want to plug, or t-shirts or anything, I'll leave it to you. Plug away, man.
Yeah. Mainly, I guess I'll just plug my social media, because I'm always posting about the shows that I'm on. So if, I know it's really fun to just add me as a friend on Facebook, everybody, but if you could just give me a follow at Kobe Durst on Twitter or at Kobe Durst on Instagram, or both preferably. I really try to keep everybody up to date and post a couple of times a week. Yeah, really simple, just at Kobe Durst.
All right, there you go. And in terms of t-shirts, is there any way, like, if you want to sell t-shirts, is it just at the shows, or do you have a
Yeah, I mean, if you see me at a show, hit me up for a t-shirt. But I mean, honestly, I sell the t-shirts and I sell the pictures and things like that, but I really, I'm not always at the merch table. Like, I'm not, it's not that I don't want your money.
Okay.
It's just that, I'm really in it, like, for the performance and things like that. So really, like, if you come out to a show, really try to take a look at my match and see things like that, and then come up to me and talk to me about a t-shirt.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, I'm glad you were at the merch table when I saw you last week. But that was cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I was I know I tweeted, I sent you messages. I want to meet you, and I think you might have got a little annoyed. I'm just going to meet this guy so he can shut up already, man. No, I'm kidding. But it was a pleasure meeting you. Hey, man, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me again today. I know we spoke about maybe 8-9 months ago, but just a pleasure having you. Good luck tomorrow at freelance. I'll be watching on Powerbomb TV, and you have a bright future ahead of you. Tremendous talent you are, man, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck. And anytime you want to come back, man, and I know you're very busy, but if a few months down the road, if we could, agree on another day, I'd love to have you back on, man.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lewis. I can't wait to be back.
All right, great. I can't wait to have you back, man. Well, this has been Tapped Out Interviews with my guest, Kobe Durst, the Diamond Tiger, Kobe Durst. Always a pleasure to have him. And until next time, thank you for listening, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.